Hello, my name is Jessica, and today I will be investigating the similarities between science and art, exploring what creativity is and what it means to be creative, as well as outlining three of the activities I have completed, the creative process I have taken, and how the activities relate to art and science. Science and art have many more similarities than you might first think. I have highlighted three key ideas that science and art both share. The first being that both science and art have a basis of observation and interpretation. The second mentions that science and art both aim to observe and create. Putting their cultural differences aside, both science and art are brought together both intentionally and unintentionally. Thirdly, art and science are both constructive ideas regarding society that motivate the viewer to connect, whether that be to a painting or model or to a scientific experiment or idea. What is creativity? Creativity can be defined as the ability to make something new. This can be many things such as a solution, method, device, artistic object, or form. What does it mean to be creative? Creative people tend to share similar personality characteristics. These characteristics can include being an independent person and a free thinker. Creative thinking is a key skill as it allows for individuals to be flexible and thus overcome obstacles and innovate. Akara 2018 highlights the key ideas of creative thinking as being inquiring and exploring new ideas, reflecting on thinking processes, analyzing and evaluating procedures, and generating ideas. Students use creative thinking in the context of art both whilst making art and whilst reacting to a variety of art forms. Creative thinking in regards to the arts stems from students' curiosity and imagination. Students are able to pose questions whilst analyzing different types of art. Creative thinking is used in science when students learn to generate new concepts, ideas, and possibilities in order to draw their own conclusions. Students are using their creative thinking skills whilst posing questions, problem solving through investigation, and analyzing evidence. Creative thinking facilitates students to be able to develop original ideas, which is fundamental to having scientific understanding. The creative process is defined as individuals' engagement in behaviors and thought processes related to creativity. During one of our tutorials, we mixed both science and art concepts together when painting DNA cells. Each student was able to interpret the painting however they desired. We used ink to paint with, and although the colors were limited, we discussed color theory and reflected on learning about the color wheel in school. During the creative process, we also spoke about how ink can become more dominant or faint depending on how much ink is used and how much water is mixed in. The next slide shows two videos I've taken during the creative process. I decided to include the candy DNA activity. During the creative process, I found myself deciding on which candy to use for the sugar phosphate backbone and what to use to represent the base pairs. I decided to use marshmallow as the backbone and raspberry jelly as the base pairs. I reflected on how my decision had both science and art in mind, as I wanted the DNA model to be somewhat true to its scientific appearance whilst also being artistically aesthetic. Here I have included some pictures from the making of the model. I believe this would be an easy activity to carry out in a classroom for young children as it doesn't involve many steps and could easily be linked to many science lessons. As mentioned, creativity stems from originality. To make this a more artistically creative activity, students could be encouraged to choose their own candy materials as I have, making each model creative and original. For the third activity, I have chosen to include the cloud jar experiment. I felt this activity would be an asset to the classroom as it allows for a student centered approach to learning that actively engages the students. Whilst completing the activity, I found that it would also provide an opportunity for inquiry based learning, as students can be encouraged to pose questions and hypothesize on how the food coloring will react within the experiment. Students can also use their critical thinking skills to assess how the outcome is similar or different to a rain cloud. To conclude my video, I would like to reflect on my creative process, the importance of creativity in science and art, and the skills I had to use whilst completing the activities. Many science projects, including the three I have documented, allow for artistic creativity to coincide with science. During my creative process, I used many science and art skills such as observation, creativity, reflection, and analyzing. The activities I have chosen allow for a majority student centered approach, with teachers acting as the facilitator, allowing teachers to encourage student creativity. Thank you for watching.